Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy, and today I want to give a response to a direct question I got from a channel viewer who is a engaged political she is an engaged progressive liberal who supports President Biden, right? And she asked me directly, she said, hey, how can you and I think she acknowledges me as a progressive Republican. That's what I consider myself now, a progressive Republican, okay? And that's why I support Vivek Ramaswamy, right? Because I want the Republican playbook in effect from 2024 to 2028. That's what I want. That's what I'm voting for with Vivek Ramaswamy. I want capability over a coffin. I refuse to vote for anyone who I think is going to fall into a coffin very soon. And because that's exactly what just happened with Dianne Feinstein, so I absolutely refuse to take anyone who's 70, 80, or 90 years old. I want capability. I don't want a coffin. Okay? I don't want a coffin for my vote. Right? So this engaged, and what I mean by that is they're smart, they're looking at everything, they're engaged in the political process, right? They're doing what they can to change the world and make it better, right? But this engaged, progressive, liberal who supports President Biden and flat out says that they think that President Biden is the best option for America going forward, and that people could vote, and that they plan on this person plans on voting for Biden as it stands right now. Now, they're still thinking. That's okay. Still giving some thought, on where they're going to go, right? And actually, I say that it's okay. Actually, I don't think anybody should be thinking about who they're going to vote for anymore. I actually think you should be fully engaged in telling people who to vote for right now. Because if you on this channel, you know a lot more about politics than most people, right? Like, I'll tell you that right now. And you absolutely are in a position to be telling people how to vote, right? Because most people don't even think about voting. Right? In fact, I don't think even most people vote, right? Like, so, yeah. All right. So, in America, this is all American specific. So this person is like, hey, Scott, how could you possibly, you're a progressive, you're saying you're a good moral person. How can you possibly vote for Vivek Ramaswamy? Vivek Ramaswamy does not support diversity, inclusion, or equality, right? Great question, right? So first of all, this person is right in that Vivek Ramaswamy is a Republican, right? And Republicans do not, their first priority is certainly not diversity, inclusion, or equality. And I will admit, diversity, inclusion, and equality is not top of mind for Vivek Ramaswamy, right? It's not. I'll tell you that right now, right? I think what is top of mind is he wants to fix America, because it is fundamentally broken right now. You cannot buy eggs, right? Cars or houses. The American dream is dead right now. Now, yeah, let's keep it focused here. All right. So, and I will say that's what I'm voting for Vivek Ramaswamy. I think my biggest concern here is I want the children of America to be able to buy houses. That's why I want Vivek Ramaswamy in. Okay? So I have to admit, this person has a great point. Diversity, inclusion, equality is not my first concern with in me giving Vivek Ramaswamy my vote. I actually think he can fix America, like literally fix it, right? Like, so that kids in America, so that a 20-year-old person in America could buy a house today. That is impossible under President Biden. Okay? But let's talk about diversity, inclusion, and equality from a perspective of Vivek Ramaswamy. So this person is like, hey, Scott, they've said a whole bunch of, Republican playbook stuff that is very against diversity, inclusion, and equality, right? And that person's right. I think they're 100% right. Vivek Ramaswamy is not highly sensitive on the issue of diversity, inclusion, and equality, right? So why on earth? Now, but I will tell you right now, listen carefully. Vivek Ramaswamy dusts President Joseph Biden on diversity, inclusion, and equality. And I will put my voting record against this progressive, liberal, engaged, progressive, liberal person who supports Joseph Biden as their candidate, right? Any day of the week. So let's get into it. Why? Why on earth, right? With everything Vivek has said, and he has said multiple lines from the Republican playbook that are very against diversity, inclusion, and equality, right? So why on earth would I say that they are a far better pick for anybody who actually cares about diversity, inclusion, and equality? So here's what I'm saying. If you actually care about diversity, inclusion, and equality, you cannot vote for President Joseph Biden, right? Because you will be actively destroying diversity, inclusion, and equality far more than Vivek Ramaswamy can with his few lines, right, that are straight from the Republican playbook that are against diversity, inclusion, and equality. How? Here you go, all right? Listen carefully, all right? President Joseph Biden is a ward cleaver, right? He is male and he is ward, right? Like, if you vote for him, you say, hey, every person of color in America, you can all kick rocks, right? We're going to invite this male ward, right? Like, and he will take care of people of color and hand you out little morsels of diversity, inclusion, and equality. You'll get what he gives you, right? And I, voting for President Joseph Biden, will be 100% cementing that every president has to be male and has to be ward, right? Like, and that's the issue, right? How could you possibly claim that you care about diversity, inclusion, and equality when you are quite literally reinforcing the most powerful, right, anti-diversity, inclusion, and equality problem America's ever had? We have never allowed anyone of any other gender. We have never allowed anyone of any other ward. You understand that? Right? If you vote for President Joseph Biden, you are the greatest threat to diversity, inclusion, and equality in America. Bar none. Right? You tell every person of colors, hey, Obama was fun, but that was a fluke, man. It's back to the ward cleavers, baby. Right? So if you claim for 1 second to actually care about diversity, inclusion, and equality, you absolutely cannot vote for President Joseph Biden, because you continue a 200-year tradition that has only been broken once, right, with President Barack Obama. And you ensure everyone with your vote that it will never be broken again, right? Now let's talk about Vivek Ramaswamy and diversity, inclusion, and equality, right? Does he talk about diversity, inclusion, and equality? Does he say things that tell you that he's going to help diversity, inclusion, and equality in America? No, because he is it. He embodies it. He literally embodies it, right? When I vote for Vivek Ramaswamy, I tell everyone, right? It doesn't matter if you're a woman. It doesn't matter if you're Asian. It doesn't matter if you are Native American. It doesn't matter if you're Hispanic. It doesn't matter if you're Jewish. It doesn't matter who you are. Diversity, inclusion, inequality is real. We hand power to people of color. And if you vote for President Joseph Biden, you ensure that will never happen again. And you should not sleep another minute with that evil choice, which solidifies the most horrible thing America has done in the last 200 years, which is made sure that no women, no people of color, no people with any attributes, no preference differences, nothing, right? You say, hey, America, you get a male ward, right? Ward to the bone, the most wardiest ward. And you will take what is given to you by that male ward. So the idea of anyone who would even think of voting for President Joseph Biden, talking to anyone about diversity, inclusion, and equality is the most ludicrous position, right? You want to stand for diversity, inclusion, and equality? Give power to people who are literally diverse, literally inclusive, and literally creating equality, literally creating inclusivity, and giving power to groups that need inclusion. We have never had an Indian American president. We have only had one person of color, right? This is what it takes. Not talk and not waiting for some male ward to hand out morsels, right? You give the power to the diverse, to the inclusive, to the people who represent inclusivity in power, right? Who will make power equally distributed. Not talk, right? You vote for President Biden. You are ensuring diversity, inclusion, and equality dies in America because the power is not available to them. No one who cares about diversity, inclusion, and equality can ever vote for a male ward for the next 30 years. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. I'm very interested to hear your humble opinion. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.